Well, just for a moment this morning, I took a little break from my online training courses just to come on and show you all a few more things regarding the gingerbread man. I've been working on a few more, trying to leave a few with some spots open to try to come on here and get the chance to demonstrate the ways I put on the buttons and all. So we're going to show one thing here as far as how we do that. We're going to put 5 little dots down the middle of the front, and the way we do it is to try to get them as equal as we can. Put the first one in the middle like this. Then we're going to put one at the bottom and one at the top like this. That's how we do that part. Then put one in between the middle and the bottom and one in between the middle and the top. And this is what we do, and we're going to give that one some time to dry, while with one that already has the buttons painted on it and dried off, we're going to do another little work, and we are going to demonstrate how we put a certain couple of lines down the side. Probably got this one here, the one that I finished first, and we're going to do a little demonstration of that. Kind of take the white paint here, and this one has had these buttons dried out for a while, and we're going to demonstrate how we put the lines down the side. We take the white paint and make one line going straight down this way for the gingerbread man, and for the other line we're going to go down the other side. I say that there's something where this little bottle, it just clogs up a lot, so good idea that we take the little pin, the little needle, and puncture a little hole into it, and to make it run a little better, because it just got clogged here, and go down here making the other line. I say that time to get the extra work done in. I say this is getting to be a little trouble right here, but we're managing it well. Even these needles that I use for sewing, sometimes they have to be used to punch holes in the nozzles of bottles. I say, and as for this little bit of work, come a long ways making it all, so it's going to make a line down the side here, and then, well, I tell you, we probably got one line a little too close there, so we can kind of make it up here, try to even out these lines a little better, try to make it so it's going to come out a little better like this. Not perfect, but at least so that the lines seem kind of equal there. And so we will put this one to the side now that we've taken care of that. Well, I see on the knot in the sock we got a little paint, so just scratch that off real easily. And things can come out better when you do a little more work to them. Just had to come on here for a moment to demonstrate that. And I'll show you a little more with my Santas here. With most of these, you've already seen how I finished painting them, the red and crimson ones. But with this particular one, with the little midnight garden and silver, I gave it purple shoes. That was something I thought was a good match there. For the one with the green and the gray and the brown and the crimson, I gave it red shoes. So they wouldn't be exactly the same as the gloves, but probably a color that would come off of the green easily. And like this, with I kind of like how I did with some of the others, I gave it burnt umber shoes and kind of painted the eyes green on this one, as you can see. And what I'll tell you on all of them is, like, one thing I finally done was I took the Sharpie marker and put in little black pupils into the eyes. And then with this one, of course, I did the eyes a little early, but this one is going to be a little more crimson red. And, you know, of course, we're going to give it gold ruffles and a gold ruffle around the bottom of the coat. And what has yet to be decided is what color I'm going to paint the gloves and the backpack. So that's going to be a little extra work to come along. This is just a moment I'm coming on to do what I think will only be the first part of a video. I'm going to get back to my online training watching in a moment and probably go to work in a little while, but whenever I get back this afternoon, hopefully I can add something else to this video, a little extra work or something, and be able to have a little more to show as far as how we get ready for our Christmas in July shows. Thank you for watching. Well, about today, since the time that I recorded the last video, it had slipped my mind that today was primary election day, and therefore the schools were closed, being used as election polls close to the students. And I wasn't supposed to be at work today, but drove down there, noticed fewer cars in the parking lot where there are usually more, and then drove my way in and noticed nobody was parked out where my coworkers usually parked. So that was kind of how today went. And so I came back home, decided it might be a good day to just show you all a little bit more as to how I do some things. These other gingerbread men, they've not had quite enough time to dry just yet, so can't really tell you everything. They are getting smudges of paint on them in places where paint is not supposed to be, and so I'm kind of not really organizing them very well. That's why they're getting in the shape they're getting in. And I say there's probably going to be ways we're going to find to deal with this later, turn our mistakes into new opportunities, like the art teacher at the school where my mother used to work always said. So this is how we're going to take care of these matters right now. I tell you, it's just kind of hard to keep everything together for a time like this. And do want to say that, just to tell you all a little more how I'm going to keep the video going, we'll just come on to say that I have just a few things to demonstrate. As far as touching up on these Santas, there's been places where the paint got a little out of line, and I took the other colors to cover up the places where it got out of line. And I am blessed with very strong hands. That's why if a little paint gets on my clothes, I just have the ability to use my nails and my spit to kind of wash it out there. And I say there's going to be a little demonstration here. I'll demonstrate how I touch up places where the paint kind of smears and smudges a little bit. Like I'll tell you here, you see how a little white got outside on the red, so just cover that red up with a little extra white. Take care of these little lines in the places where they are, in the little places where they need to be, I say. And so this is going to be something that, and of course we're kind of accidentally touching the brush in places where it isn't supposed to be, and we'll have to go back and fix a couple of other things later. But I say one thing I need to mention is that we already got that taken care of, the places where the red came out on the brown, and we had to fix that. I made myself a little, one of those empty medicine bottles I have, and put a little water in it so I can rinse out my brushes over here. Usually I'd go to the sink to do it, but when you have to stay in front of a camera to do a video, it's best to have a place nearby to wash them out. Let's see if there's any. Yeah, I'd say right around here, there's a place on the sleeve of this one where the white kind of came out a little bit. We'll kind of put a little bit of a touch up there to take care of that. And this is a time when, for all my enjoyment, I get to make these videos, put them to YouTube, I say. And I'll tell you all that there's probably going to be a few places on that other one where we need to get out the white and take care of the places where the red went out of balance. And there probably is a place here on the coat we got to find. Yeah, it's right there. We took care of that spot. I know one thing they taught us in art class was that black should be the last color you use. So we might kind of take care of these Santas that need touch-ups in these other colors before we go around to getting out the black to put touch-ups on the shoes. So let's see what we got on this one. It seems to be fine here. Don't really notice much of anything wrong here. I'll tell you, there's a little one where a little bit of green got out on the gold here. I think we're going to get out the gold and try to touch up that last little spot to take care of that little mess right there. And so probably going to be so much more to say as we go on. I gotta tell you all little stories as far as how things go. Enjoy watching all the stories, all the things going on. You know, the thing I told you earlier about it slipping my mind that this was primary election day. I've had a lot going on this year. The good thing is I have finished up my online training for good, and I'm moving to a new cafeteria next year, as we mentioned, so that's going to be a big change in my life. Probably have a lot going on this year because I'm looking forward to that. And I will mention that on that last one we did, there was a little place where I noticed that, you'll notice that on here, in the place where the legs separate, I forgot to carve that out when I was carving it, so after it was already painted green, I had to carve that out and then put a little green in there to touch it up. But I'd say that in that place there's a little bit of bare wood left, so Might have to put a little red on to cover that. I do believe I see places on it where, you know, there's probably a little green that got out on the shoes, so get a little more red out to cover up that. And I'll tell you all little stories too as soon as we get this done, but you know, stories can be getting a little irrelevant here and there, and sometimes, just sometimes, a little work is what it takes to make things turn out a little better. We're going to make opportunities out of our mistakes eventually. We're going to find something to do with them. And can't see much on this one. Believe that where there were errors, well, I tell you, I guess I see a place where a little green rubbed off on the gold on that one, so try to get out the gold here and touch up that little place where the green came out on the ruffle there. This is a common accident that happens when you paint things, especially three-dimensional carvings, that is. And well, I tell y'all, we got little places to patch up here and there and take care of little matters as they come. I mean, business is business these days, you know. We got a lot of it to take care of now, and as far as it's going to go, it's going to get us a little better in life, take us a few more days to accomplish so much more and make it where it's going to be better for us, make us all see a little light of day. I tell y'all that I'm going to decide on some colors for the little gloves and backpack of this one, but that's just something that in its own time we can take care of. I'll probably demonstrate one more thing with these gingerbread men as soon as they get to where they've dried out enough that I can put a little more extra work in them. And I'd say probably a place where a little red paint got on the side and dried out a little bit. Probably not going to hurt anything, but we'll find a way to make that mistake into a new opportunity as soon as we can. And we'll say, for further reference, that this work is coming a long way. Do think in between videos while I was listening to my online training, took care of all the touch-ups needed on this one. They're all good, all taken care of now, and then with this one too, feel like I got it all taken care of here, and probably see one last little place where I need to put a little work in there and maybe touch up the little Mississippi mud on the backpack in the place where some of the crimson red came off and came loose. So we're going to manage that a little bit here and try to paint in little lines there, make it so it's going to be better. I saw that I just got one more subscriber to my YouTube today. That was the great thing. You know, there probably gets to be a limit as to how much I can take on the web. It's like working a school cafeteria job can sure be enough when you kind of got a lot else to deal with in life too, and got to put these in places where they can sit out to dry. One last thing, we're going to check on this one, make sure it's all taken care of, which in fact, from what I can see, Probably got one more place on the hat that we might need to take care of here, and where a little white from the pom-pom came out on the hat, we're going to take care of that just as it ought to be and get it settled in. And so, as for the work we've done, got a little ways to go. And last but not least, I told you that black is the last color you use. So we got this big container of black, so what we have to do is kind of shake it up so some gets in the lid, and then we're going to take off the lid here, see where the shoes are, and as you see, I got a little red on the shoes, so we're going to get a little out and touch up, cover those red spots with the black like the shoes, and show how little steps come, little steps go. I say, as for an episode of a video, this gets its own way. I say, take it to the limit where it goes, and then kind of finally work our way to what's going to be next, and see if there's anything that needs to be touched up on this other black pair of Santa shoes. I don't see anything that does, so we've taken care of that if it needed to be. And so I'm gonna close this black paint up and say that I appreciate you all coming on to watch. Probably got one more step to show with the gingerbread man as soon as I can get around to working on that, as soon as they all dry out. And so I thank you all for watching, and take care.